Attention passionate Philadelphia, EAGLES. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Philadelphia Eagles' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Philadelphia Eagles fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Philadelphia, EAGLESFANS. Let's get to the news now, Eagles fans. I want to dive deep into a story that's been making waves not just in Philadelphia, but across the NFL landscape. And honestly, it's a story that's got a lot of layers, a lot of context, and it's really about more than just a tweet or a game. We're talking about the current state of one of the team's most talented and most controversial wide receivers, A.J. Brown. This story isn't just about what happened on the field last Sunday. It's about the bigger picture of his relationship with the team, his future, and what it all could mean for the Eagles as they push toward the playoffs and hopefully another shot at that elusive Super Bowl trophy. So let's set the scene. The Eagles just pulled off a hard-fought 31-25 victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A game that on paper looks pretty close, but if you watched it, you saw how much effort, resilience, and some clutch plays really defined that win. A.J. Brown, as usual, was part of the story. Now, he didn't exactly light it up statistically, just 2 receptions on 9 targets for a modest 7 yards. Not his best day, no doubt. But what really caught everyone's attention was what happened after the game, especially on social media. Brown took to Twitter and posted a Bible verse that read, "If you're not welcomed, not listened to, quietly withdraw, don't make a scene, shrug your shoulders and be on your way." Yeah, that sounds pretty cryptic, right? And for many fans and analysts, it immediately looked like an indirect message, maybe even a subtle trade request. And folks, that's where things got heated. The social media firestorm was instant. Fans and insiders started speculating. Was this a cry for help? Was it a frustration vented out in a very public way? The timing couldn't be more interesting, especially after a game where Brown wasn't as involved as he usually is. The Eagles' head coach Nick Sirianni quickly had to step in. He and offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo responded, trying to downplay the significance of Brown's cryptic tweet. They made it clear that it wasn't anything personal against A.J., nor was it a sign of discord within the team. They emphasized that Brown's frustrations were understandable, especially considering the tough game, but that it wasn't a reflection of his relationship with the coaching staff or the team's overall chemistry. But let's be honest here, this isn't just about a tweet. When you look at A.J. Brown's career with the Eagles since he was acquired back in 2022 through that draft day trade with the Tennessee Titans, he's been nothing short of spectacular. In just 3 seasons, he's established himself as one of the premier wide receivers in the NFL. I mean, 275 receptions, over 100 yards, and 26 touchdowns in just 51 games. That's elite production, and it's no surprise he's been selected to 3 straight All-Pro teams, with 2 trips to the Pro Bowl and, of course, a Super Bowl victory. He's a player who's got that rare blend of speed, size, and hands, and he's always been known for his competitive fire and desire to be the best. But as we've seen in recent weeks, that fire can sometimes burn a little too brightly, especially when things aren't going perfectly. Now, the interesting part is how the team is responding to all of this. In the immediate aftermath of the tweet, some NFL insiders, including ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, reported that the Eagles are now in a cautious mode. They're listening to trade offers for Brown. Not necessarily that they're actively trying to move him right now. The season's still ongoing, and they've got their sights set on a deep playoff run. But there's definitely a sense that the organization is open to exploring options for the future. Why? Because, as Fowler points out, there's a long-standing love-hate relationship between Brown and the Eagles' passing game. It's not uncommon for star players to have moments of frustration, but when those moments become public, and especially when they involve cryptic messages, it raises questions about team chemistry and the long-term vision. Let's remember, A.J. Brown is just 28 years old. He's in his prime, and he's proven to be a difference-maker on the field. His connection with quarterback Jalen Hurts has been one of the top quarterback-receiver duos in the league. Their chemistry has been a key part of the Eagles' offensive identity, especially in big moments. Brown's ability to stretch the field and make contested catches has been invaluable, and his leadership and competitive spirit have been vital for this team's culture. Yet that same competitive nature can sometimes spill over into frustration when the targets aren't coming his way or when the offense struggles. And that's what we saw on Sunday, a rare moment where he let his emotions get the better of him. But what does this mean for the Eagles moving forward? Well, as much as fans love Brown's talent, they also have to consider the bigger picture. The team's management and coaching staff are always balancing short-term success with long-term stability. They're aware of Brown's value, but also of the potential risks if his frustrations continue to surface publicly. It's a delicate dance. The Eagles, under GM Howie Roseman and head coach Nick Sirianni, have built a roster that's championship caliber, but every decision they make about players, especially a star like Brown, is scrutinized intensely. And let's not forget, the NFC East is a battleground right now. The Eagles are trying to defend their division crown against rivals like the Dallas Cowboys, who have been impressive defensively and offensively this season, and the New York Giants, who are still trying to find consistency under new leadership. The Washington Commanders, too, are lurking in the shadows, always capable of surprising teams with their defense and young quarterback. Every game in this division is critical, and any distraction or internal unrest can be costly. That's why the Eagles' front office is certainly weighing their options carefully. They want to keep the locker room tight, focused, and ready for the postseason, but they also understand the need to address situations that might threaten that unity. So where does this leave A.J. Brown? Well, it's complicated. He's acknowledged that his social media post was born out of frustration after a tough game, and he's taken responsibility for it. He's also insisted that the message wasn't directed at anyone in the organization, not Jalen Hurts, not the coaches, not the general manager. That's an important point because it shows he's aware of the potential fallout and wants to clarify where his head is. Yet, the fact remains that the Eagles are now considering their options, and that's significant in the NFL landscape. It's not just about what happens in the next few games, but what might happen in the offseason when teams can make more strategic moves without the immediate pressure of a playoff push. Looking at Brown's career trajectory, it's clear he's a generational talent. Since joining the Eagles, he's been a cornerstone of their offense. His ability to make big plays, his route running, and his physicality make him one of the most feared receivers in the league. But like all high-profile players, he's also under intense scrutiny, especially when the team's results don't match expectations. His recent social media activity, while understandable from a competitor's perspective, has added fuel to the fire, prompting questions about his future with the team. And let's talk about the bigger NFL picture for a moment. The league is more than just a game, it's a complex ecosystem of talent, personalities, and strategic decisions. When a player like Brown, who's been so productive and so vocal about his desire to succeed, has moments of frustration, it reflects a broader narrative about the pressures of NFL stardom. Players want to win, they want to be recognized, and they want to feel valued. Sometimes, that pressure manifests in ways that aren't always ideal, like social media posts or public comments. But it also shows how passionate and committed these athletes are, and that's part of what makes the NFL so compelling. Looking ahead, the Eagles are definitely at a crossroads. Will they keep Brown and try to work through these issues? Or will they explore trade options in hopes of finding a better fit or creating some cap space and draft capital for future moves? Given the current climate, it's more likely they'll hold off for now, but the situation remains fluid. Brown himself has expressed accountability and a desire to move past the incident, but trust and chemistry are fragile things in the NFL. The coaching staff and front office will be watching closely, and fans should be prepared for some interesting developments in the coming weeks and months. As we analyze everything, it's important to remember that Brown's talent is undeniable. He's a game changer, a player who can turn a game on its head with a single catch. His impact on the Eagles' offense is profound, and his leadership, when channeled correctly, can elevate the entire team. Yet, this situation also underscores the importance of mental toughness and emotional regulation in professional sports. The NFL is a high-pressure environment, and even the best players can have moments where emotions boil over. How they recover from those moments, how their team supports them, and how the organization manages those situations, That's what ultimately determines the team's success. So, in conclusion, Eagles fans, this story isn't just about one tweet or one game. It's about a team, a player, and a franchise that's striving for greatness, but also navigating the complex realities of modern NFL stardom. The coming weeks will be crucial. Will the Eagles be able to keep their core together and push for another Super Bowl? Or will this be a sign of things to come, perhaps a chapter that leads to a significant roster reshuffle? Only time will tell. But one thing is for sure, the Philadelphia Eagles are always in the thick of the action, and they never shy away from drama or challenge. That's what makes this team so special, so resilient, and so worth watching for every single fan out there. And now, Philadelphia Eagles fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Eagles. Do you believe Brown will stay, or do you think a trade is inevitable? How do you see this affecting the team's chemistry and chances at another Super Bowl? Remember, your voice is part of this community, and we're all here because of our love for this team. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, more insights, and all the latest about the Philadelphia Eagles. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep supporting this incredible team every step of the way.